Hello, I'm Ray Heron. That's my Tenere 700 with new YSS suspension, and we are off-road testing for the first time. It's very cold and wet and slippery. Good luck, everybody. Okay, here we are at Karapoti, part of the Akataroa Forest, Tenere 700. First off-road ride with the new suspension. Let's get into it. Oh, I haven't ridden this bike off-road like this since early in the year, January. I've been on the dirt and on the mud, but I haven't done this sort of riding, which generally is only reserved for proper dirt bikes. If you watch the channel before, you know I've been out here before on all sorts of things. The Beta, I even took a little BMW G310 GS out here. Not very far, mind. Speed limit out here is 30 kilometers per hour. So, and there are other people. There's walkers, there's bikers, there's everyone out here. So, we just have to take it easy, be careful. And I'm on my own, so we don't want to go too hard. First river crossing. This is where we get wet boots. Well, we made it. We did it. It's very wet and very cold. I think last time I checked it was about 6 degrees. So the old suspension the bike used to just rattle. So far, there's a little more give. It's a little softer, more forgiving. There's a bigger rock on the skid plate, thank you. Should have worn a different helmet. Should have worn goggles. Eyes are streaming, but if I close the visor, well, I got a tinted visor, don't I? That wasn't the smartest move. I've only done a couple of minutes, but instantly the suspension is a better setup. It's keeping me on the ground, keeping my tyres connected with the surface, and the bike is doing less bucking. I don't know if I'm going to go too far today. Might just go through to the big river crossing, which is a nice picturesque place to stop anyway. But definitely got less forward to backward movement in the bike, going over the rocks and the bumps. Be interesting to see how much of the suspension travel we end up using. I was talking to Dave Moss during the week, told him how much I was using on the normal morning commute, and he gave me some tips to soften it up. His tips generally consist of 2 turns left or right, and that helped during the week on the tarmac. But I've gone back to the original settings that we dialed into the bike at RS Motorcycles for the off-road test. I was fine when I haven't ridden off-road in ages, and I get off-road. First couple of minutes, getting used to the bike, I always get a lot of arm pump. Ooh, there's a big rock. So I definitely have to take it easy with my monkey grips, clenching onto the bars for dear life. Try and keep the grip soft, the elbows soft. I'm not going to try and give you tips to ride off-road, because there are people on the internet that will do a much better job than I will. Testing out this rev'it H2O jacket as well. So far, the biggest test of it's been the thermal insulation, and it's nice. I'm also wearing the Pod K8 knee braces, which I don't wear all that often, but I thought it'd be a good idea today. Managed to get them on and in a position they're comfortable, which I've struggled with in the past. Another couple of nice big rocks to the skid plate. Definitely a worthy investment if you're going to ride this sort of terrain. Check out one of my previous videos where I did a oil change. And I take the skid plate off and you can see the dings and the dents in it. Bump. Yep, up the big bump. Time to sit down. I've had further thoughts on the old granddad screen up front, the screen extender as well. And I think I like it on the motorway. I think at this sort of riding it's kind of annoying because I'm always looking around it and over it. But on the motorway, it's quite good. Just got to get used to the level of the air hitting your helmet. With this RI XD4, it's a lot smoother. I've been running the Arrow Commander during morning commuting, and I'm getting used to it. It's alright. It's not as bad as I initially thought it was. Lots of water in here. This time of year, it just never dries out. Parts of it never defrost. We've just had a decent frost overnight. Probably our coldest night of the year so far. Wonder if these guys are out pig hunting with their dogs. A lot of people come out here for all sorts of activities. And here's me on essentially a road legal motorcycle. A lot of people think these bikes are out of their element out here, but if you can ride, there's nothing wrong with bringing an adventure bike out here. I've seen some big adventure bikes out here. BMW R1250 GS's. And it really, you can talk about setup till the cows come home, but really comes down to how confident a rider you are, how much skill you have. Bike with this suspension is definitely handling the whoops and the bumps and the abrupt bits and pieces a lot better. Even for this little gravel section, feels so much smoother and more in control. I feel like previously I felt like the smallest bump would put the bike offline. It feels smooth and in control. And I hate saying it. I hate saying this phrase, but confidence inspiring. Ooh, there's a bit of sun. Not far from the river now. And I think where previously I thought maybe the expense of this new suspension was overkill for the riding that I do, as soon as you get out here, it makes sense. My back wheel is not being kicked all over the show. The suspension is holding that wheel to the ground, giving me more traction, more control. I feel like the front's got some purpose. I don't feel like I have to back off in these corners. Previously I thought maybe I'd lose the front, it would wash out. It's just sticking to the ground. The suspension is just pushing it into the ground and giving more traction. What does this river look like today? Oh, it doesn't look too bad. I think we'll get across there. Oh, where I thought that was me. I thought, it'd be enough of a drama to get out to the river crossing. I just feel like I can keep going. Given how wet the trails are, I don't know how much further I do want to keep going, but I feel like I have the confidence to keep going. Up here is a reasonable hill climb. We'll give it a bash and then we'll come back to the river. It's a long way up this hill. Looks like the logging trucks have been using it though, so who knows? Might be flattened out a bit. Looks slippery. Stick it in a wheel track. Keep the power on. Up, up, up we go. Clench with the knees. Oh yeah, that's slippery. Now take it very easy coming down. Sharp left-hander. And up some more. Grab second. Oh yeah, we made it up that section. From memory, it just keeps on going. Oh, that might do me. Yep, suspension on the T7 is good. I like it. What more can I say? Does the job, keeps the wheels on the ground. Just going to stop and turn my ABS off because I always forget to do that. It's good. It's good. It keeps the wheels on the ground. It gives me more, what's the word? Confidence. Be able to do stuff even on this reasonably smooth logging track. I'm not being absolutely shaken out of my mind. The bike is more stable, and that means that I can do more. It's actually comfortable to sit down on this bit of gravel. Interestingly, when you hit a rock that you're not expecting, previously the front end would be realigned, you know, you'd be shot off in one direction or another. With the YSS cartridges up front, there's less of that. You definitely know you've hit a rock, but the suspension just handles it a lot better. Sure-footed, direct, point and shoot. It actually has changed the bike a lot. The bike feels a lot more comfortable and capable in these sorts of conditions. So when the next zombie apocalypse comes, I will be fine. And the next zombie apocalypse comes, as if we've had one before. Rocky. I barely felt that. Tell you what though, getting warm in this rev'it jacket. It's definitely got the thermal insulation sorted. Might have to open a vent or two. Who would have thought opening jacket vents in winter? Things have warmed up slightly. We're up to 9 degrees. When I started this ride, we're at 6. Almost tropical. A little bit of air at the front. Probably need some knobblier tyres to get traction for any kind of wheelies or anything in these conditions. Must be coming up on the river crossing. Tell you what, the Pod K8 knee braces have been quite comfortable on this ride. I've worn them previously and they've been terribly uncomfortable, but I got no problems with them at the moment. Sort of thing that when you don't wear often, you notice them all the time. And you're like, why am I wearing these? Why do I need to wear these? But a good bit of safety kit nonetheless. This will be our river crossing. Straight through. No dramas. Getting some speed up now. Bike's feeling good. Sure-footed mountain goat. Potholes and whoops not affecting it at all. And then we are back to the car park. Okay. T7 done a fantastic job there on just a short skint through the bush. Let's see how much suspension travel we have used. Bugger all, look at that. We could probably go softer even in those off-road conditions. Probably still got another 30 mil before we bottom out. What does the shock look like? Hard to tell. Yes. Tenere 700 YSS suspension package, cartridges up front, whole new shock down back. Thank you very much, RS Motorcycles. You have changed my bike. You have absolutely refreshed it. It feels fantastic off-road. I'm going to catch my breath. We're going to do a debrief. Stay right there. All right, debrief time. Firstly, thank you very much to RS Motorcycles. Robert Hadley and the team, great job. Thank you so much for the work you've done. You've really transformed this bike. I appreciate the attention to detail. And if you need work done and you're anywhere near Wellington, definitely have a chat to the team at RS Motorcycles in Lower Hutt. Also, thank you very much to YSS Suspension. KSS up in Taranaki, they are New Zealand distributors for YSS. They're also an R&D workshop for YSS. I really appreciate your support in this project. Road performance.
As Robert said in the video where we talked about the installation of the suspension, I haven't noticed an awful lot of change in the bike. It's definitely more direct, and it has less dive when you hit the brakes, which is really good. It means that, you know, you're forcing that tyre into the ground, getting more front end traction. But if that was all I was doing on this bike, I don't know if I would justify the expense. That said, if road was all I was doing on the bike, we'd probably go with a completely different setup and it would feel a lot better. But there's less dive, there's less wallow, it's more stable front to back, and in the corners it definitely feels has more purpose, I guess is the way I would describe it. You're not going around the corner kind of second guessing what the suspension's doing. I don't like saying the term confidence inspiring, but it is. It just feels quality. Off-road is where we see most of the performance gains of the suspension, if I'm honest. It really brings this bike alive. It makes it feel like what it was made to be, a big dirt bike. Less dive, less wallow, as we found on the roads. That's more pronounced on the dirt, which gives more grip and traction both ends. But it's also more direct. It's not as easily deflected. So there was some of those rocks on that off-road section that I showed you earlier in the video, where previously you would hit with the front wheel and be deflected off one way or the other, because the damping in the front end was not up to snuff, up to scratch. Where now you hit that rock or that bump, and the bike, it goes where you want it to go. It's more predictable, I guess. It does what it's meant to do. There's no surprises. You definitely feel more connected with the ground, and it just feels quality. Previously, riding down some of those trails, I could feel every bar, every bump, every jarring dug through both ends. And now it doesn't feel like the bike is being rattled to within an inch of its life, because the suspension is really soaking up those bumps and then giving it back with the rebound. So I feel like we've definitely improved the bike a lot. It's done a very, very good job, and I'm very impressed. Which brings me to the question, was it worth it? I've been asked a number of times what it cost, and I can give you prices, but by the time you watch this video, prices will have changed, the exchange rate will have changed, and that means prices have to change. People have got to make money. You're not just paying for the components, but you're paying for the installation, which means you're paying for the workshop's time, consumables, you're paying for the hours and years of experience that person has had. So I'm not going to go into price. But was it worth it? That's not a question I can answer for you with your bike, but for me and this bike, because this is the closest I've ever had to a forever bike, yes, absolutely it was worth it. It has completely changed the bike. It has made it more enjoyable to ride off-road, and I really just want to go out and spend a couple of days off-road now. So was it worth it? Absolutely. Would I do it again? Definitely. In fact, if I was going to buy another one of these, I probably wouldn't wait 40,000 Ks to do the suspension. I would just take it straight out of the box, take it straight down to Robert and say, same again, please, because it's absolutely brilliant. That said, if I had the money for a second T7, I would have a full road version, and then I would have a full off-road version, and then I'd be going down the track of, you know, proper road tyres and road wheels and all sorts of stuff. But there you go. Thank you so much to everyone who's contributed to this video. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. We have plenty more to do with this bike. Now that it's got new suspension, I want to go on way more trips. This summer, I definitely want to be doing some tougher stuff. I want to go do the 40-second traverse again and all that sort of stuff. So please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, RS Motorcycles. Thank you to YSS Suspension and KSS up in Taranaki. Thank you to everyone who supported me. rev'it with that new jacket that I showed you earlier in the video. We're going to do a full test on that. And I've got some new gloves floating around the office here. Where are they? They're on the back here. The Exxon Ragnar gloves, which I'm going to be testing out in the coming weeks. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you've got any questions or comments at all, chuck them in the comment box below. You know what to do. And I personally check all of those and answer as many as I possibly can. Otherwise, keep the rubber side down, throttle on, and hooroo. We'll catch you next time.